Today we're installing a bunch of gameplay type of mods that will enhance your immersion, your gameplay features, and we're also fixing the UI and a bunch of other miscellaneous. Our goal again is to make Skyrim feel vanilla friendly, aka make Skyrim Plus. You don't have to use any of the mods I'm suggesting, I'm just showcasing my very minimalistic mod list, so if you like again those type of videos, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, it really helps me find my audience and thank you so much for the support. That being said, if this video gets enough likes, I'm making the next one which is going to cover stability and a bunch of things when it comes to that, while also covering faster HDT, and essentially we're doing the physics on the next episode, which is the important work. You will find down in the video description all the mods I'm using, and I will also include a paste bin file of all of the extra mods that will have things like requirements or small things that I don't think they're important enough for me to cover and lose more time, so feel free to check that. That being said, let's move into the video. Let's start with the gameplay with dynamic things, alternative, the base object swapper version. Do you remember when you find random things like barrels, hanging nets, and all of this clutter around the Skyrim that for some reason Todd Howard thought you could never interact with? Well, with this mod you can loot a bunch of things. For instance, you can walk to a mammoth skull, you can interact and grab a mammoth task. Same goes for pretty much everything. This adds or furthermore enhances the idea of exploring and finding new things in Skyrim. It is such a great mod. It doesn't matter if you're playing Anniversary Edition or Special Edition or whichever copy of Skyrim Todd will sell us, this is a must mod to have. Next we have the Sure of Stealing, which is going to make it where you will need to be on stealth in order to steal or borrow things. A nice cute mod to have in addition. Then we have the Pickpocket Reset, which does exactly what the mod implies. It makes it where every day or two all of the stuff you can steal from citizens or anybody in the world, you will actually have a reset for that, which means you can steal as much as you want, and it's a nice feature to have if you are playing a bandit type of character. And the last pickpocket mod for this is pickpocket from everyone. That means you can pickpocket skeleton, Falmers, even kids. Another cool mod to have is the Falmer equip armor. Very small type of mod. Do you remember when you loot a dead Falmer and nothing happens? Well, with this mod from this, it's gonna be this every time you loot. It's very immersive, it's a nice mod to have, and it makes sense that you can actually wear their armors and you can actually see the Falmers actually become naked as any other vanilla characters really, which is nice to have. You can go to the files, install this, and there is a bunch of patches, you can check this out. I will have some of the things down in the video description. That being said, we are installing this. Then we have two mods that we want to use. First, it's called C.O.I.N. And C.O.I.N is a mod that is going to add a bunch of different coins you can find out throughout Skyrim and collect them all, which you can furthermore sell those. We want to combine this with the coin treasury exchange, which is going to add a treasury exchange dude in Markrat where you can go there and exchange all of your coins for extra loot and extra gold. You're not only collecting gold, but you are collecting everything, and I think it adds up a lot to the vanilla Skyrim. It's nice cute addition. Now the next mod we're using is Missives. If you played Witcher before, this is going to add missive boards in most of the towns and cities of Skyrim. I first thought this mod was kinda boring, but the more I played Skyrim, I like the idea of you going out and exploring, doing a main quest, being free to do anything you want in Skyrim, and sometimes it's nice to have something extra to do when you travel around. This is a nice immersion type of mod, it adds up a lot. There is a bunch of add-ons for this. I have collected all of my add-ons that I am using on again the miscellaneous paste bin type of files, so feel free to check that out. That being said, Missives is a nice mod, so go ahead and grab that. The Headhunter Bounties Redone. It is going to redone the bounties which in my opinion they fail felt extremely lackluster in Skyrim. You will be able to do now a bunch of new quests chasing Forstorm giants, even dragons. When it comes to Skyrim, find the different yards and make some nice bugs, reputation and money. An absolutely beautiful mod, so go ahead and grab that. And speaking of immersion, let's have locked chests have keys. Many chests in Skyrim are locked. It will spread hidden keys where you can find in addition and unlock those chests. Maybe you don't have a high lockpicking skill, and maybe you don't want to build a mage type of character that unlocks chests with alteration magic, which you can now because of our previous episode when it comes to the combat mods, thanks to mysticism. However, this gives you a nice idea that if you want to search around the places you visit, or maybe kill the right people.
Well, what are you, his hired killer?
It started that way, aye. Now I'm a knight.
How did that come to pass?
Killed the right people, I suppose.
Extremely small mod that I see many people sleeping on. Absolutely a must, go ahead and grab this. We have the Candlehearth and Inn Overhaul, which essentially overhauls most of the inns to have safes, which makes sense where do innkeepers store all of their goodies, and it also overhauls how renting or buying rooms works. This makes inns a much more interesting place to be around Skyrim, and you're playing on survival difficulty. It's nice to have more options. Maybe you want to steal that lock, want to see what goodies it has inside, or maybe you want to rent a room, and the original vanilla idea of renting stuff it's kinda boring. This adds a lot, and there is patches for many popular mods. Next, we're enhancing hundreds of vanilla features with 4 mods. I'm gonna speed run through them. We have the complete alchemy and cooking overhaul, which enhances everything when it comes to that, from ingredients, materials, cooking, recipes. It adds so much. If you thought alchemy was kinda boring, this is going to refresh it and make it so much more better. It is a beast of a mod. Always have this in your mod list, guys. Next, we're getting Gourmet, which is a cooking overhaul. Cooking in Skyrim is boring. Why not make it more fun?
Come here, you. It's raw. It's
more unique, add more recipes, variations, maybe different types of buffs. This is such an insane mod. Then you want to enhance all of the smithing stuff in Skyrim. We all love smithing in Skyrim, but I wish we will get something more. Don't need to wish anything because Ars Metallica is a mod like all of the previous mods I've covered, where it keeps getting constant updates, it becomes better, and it's going, most importantly, enhance all of the type of smithing in Skyrim, making smithing a skill that actually matters now. The next one is an optional type of mod. This is Starfrost, a survival overhaul. This is going to enhance all of the survival by adding more injuries, buffs and debuffs when it comes to warmth, hunger, all this type of stuff. A small notice: for this to work, you will need to own the CC survival mod, which as a requirement I have added it. You will need to have this mod as well, which is survival mod improved, which is going to improve the Creation Club survival mod. So combining those two together, we are getting Starfrost, which it's a much more better version of what Bethesda gave us. And the reason why I'm using again the survival mod from the Creation Club is that first of all it was free when I've got the mod, I didn't have to pay for it. A second thing is that it has the least amount of scripts when it comes to a survival mod. Most of the survival mods on the Nexus right now, they are extremely heavy on scripts. Again, that's my reason pretty much why I use or prefer the Creation Club survival mod, because it's much more easier to run, it's simplistic, it doesn't run many scripts, and now with Starfrost and the survival mod improved, combining those two, we're getting a much more better survival experience. Next, we're enhancing the lockpicking when it comes to Skyrim by having the lock variations, which is going to give you, you've guessed it, lock variations when it comes to Skyrim. And this looks absolutely disgusting, and that's why I love it. Adds so much more immersion. I don't know why I've put this on the gameplay type of mods. It doesn't make any sense, but I guess it adds up gameplay. And there is a bunch of add-ons to get. I will have all of the add-ons I'm using, which is quite a lot, on the pastebin file. YouTube only lets me use 5,000 words when it comes to using links, so I won't be able to have all of the links. An example of an add-on will be Security Overhaul Lock add-ons, which is going to add way more. Next, we have More to Say, which is a mod that is going to give us many more choices when it comes to talking to most NPCs. You now have dialogue options that you didn't have before, and it's always nice to have. You want to grab the oxygen meter too, which is going to add an oxygen meter that we never had before. And important thing about this, you want to scroll all the way down and grab this version 1.0.4 that works for special edition 1.596. 27. Don't grab the other stuff because the other stuff is for Anniversary Edition. And then let's install the Stamina of Steeds, which is going to add stamina to Steeds and fixing a weird bug when it comes to that. And let's also grab the classic Sprinting Redone, which is going to fix this weird bug happening with sprinting and also make it where you don't have to hold the goddamn shift key for you to sprint, which is an absolutely must of a mod, guys. Skyrim's unplayable without this mod. And then let's grab the left hand rings modified, which gives us the option to actually equip left hand rings to our character. I love the idea of Morrowind where you could wear so many more type of equipments. This is nice because it gives us an extra item to wear anytime we want, and that's a left ring, because sometimes it's nice combining rings and it doesn't make sense that you can wear only one. So this is the mod here. I will grab the main file and also this file for Sky UI. That being said, let's move on to animations. First of all, we have the first person interaction, which is going to play first person interactions every time you open a door, you loot someone, you pickpocket, lockpick. This makes Skyrim feel like a next gen game, and it is so damn good. If you have an older version of this, make sure to completely delete the older version. Don't worry about the requirements, we have all of them installed from our previous episodes, and I will also have any type of requirements again on the pastebin type of link. Then I have stuxjr, I'm very sure I nailed the name. This guy, if you scroll a little bit down, he has made some new animations for a bunch of creatures. I like the Falmer animations, or the giant animations, or the lurker ones. You are free to go here and grab anything you like, and you are free to download any of those. Our favorite combat. I'm gonna go through very fast with all of our combat type of mods that I'm going to use when it comes to adding more gameplay, or at least the important ones. And first of all, we have Precision Magic Trails, which is going to grab precision and it's going to add magic trails to all of our enchanted weapons. And absolutely must of a mod in my humble opinion. Let's go to KittyTall mod page, and you want to grab all of the things here that you find fitting for you to improve your magic. I like his VFX edits. For instance, the healing, it is so much more cleaner and better now. Just look at that, it looks beautiful, guys. I mean, look at it, you're not looking, this is absolutely beautiful. And you can go again to this person's mod page, and he has made a bunch of things like the Dragon's Breath VFX, or the Lightning, or Embers XD, which we are using, and enhancing the torches, VFX edit file. All of his stuff is absolutely beautiful, so go ahead and check his workout to make your spells beautiful again. Now, we have the next gen Decapitations. Many of you guys are asking me, wait, how can you decapitate people on the move anytime you're in combat? It's because of this mod. If you actually power attack someone now who is dead, or even during combat and you're about to kill him, you can actually chop his head or his hands or his feet. This is such a beautiful mod, guys, and I think this will be a must on Skyrim. Just look at this, it's so damn good. You can read the requirements on the installation. If you go down to the requirements, we only need those to make it work. Make sure to grab the dismembering framework and the simple beheading and install those too. I will have all of those linked down on the pastebin file. Next, I'm going to move to a few small mods to make again our game better when it comes to combat. In addition to what we've installed so far, we have the Civil War Deserters, which is going to add a new type of enemy. You can find those in 3 locations if I remember correctly, and it's going to add deserters from the Elysium. You can fight them. Any small mod that we get that is safe to use when it comes to stability, that will give us plentiful of new enemies to fight. It's nice, and let's be honest, guys, everybody wants to kill Imperials, so this is a nice mod to have. Next, we're using a Dragon War Overhaul. This is a beautiful mod that is going to completely change how dragon encounters work. It gives more shots to the dragons, new moves. You can combine this with Unknown's new dragon textures, which look super badass. And don't forget to grab the Dragon War Niji from the requirements as well. I am going to cover J Sepra later in the video, but the one single mod you should consider getting on any of your playthroughs is NPCs take over smarter anti-cheese AI. There is nothing that hits you worse than broken AI. This mod fixes that, and again, you should definitely grab that because now NPCs will take over, will hide, and you won't be able to cheese them as much, which is gonna make the combat not harder, but I will say more challenging and more realistic. The next mod might be something that that many of you might not like. This is deadly spell impacts, and the reason is that this mod might give us a crash or two. Now, it have gotten a new update recently, which I haven't tried the new update, but I hear it's much more stable than before, and this mod is really nice because we're using an extremely minimalistic model, so it's not going to be that bad when it comes to stability. It is going to essentially give us effects every time you use magic. Using speed as well, it is going to have all of the enemies have those effects. It improves how magic works in combat. It's really nice, and the reason why we're using this is because of the Parallax spell impacts version, which also fixes some of the stability, and it makes, I mean, look at this, guys, it makes everything look so much more cooler. If you try this mod and you think that you're getting a crash or two, which you shouldn't, but I'm saying if, you are free to remove it, but it's a mod. I am going to try it on my mod list because it looks absolutely sick. I really wanted an excuse to try the newest version of that. Next, we have FleshFX, which is going to enhance our magic spells when it comes to all of the alteration spell. This is Dragon Flesh, Ebony Flesh, Iron Flesh, and Stone Flesh. All of those will look much more better with our community shaders and our setup. A beautiful mod because those effects were looking really bad before. We have the Elemental Dust, which is going to give us a nice gap closer as a new magic spell. Before we only had the Wyrmid South as a frost, a fire, and a lighting version. Very underrated mod in my opinion. And lastly, we're enhancing magic again by using the Mystic Elemental Cloaks. This is going to make the Elemental Cloaks actually look so damn sick compared to what we've got in vanilla. In my opinion, they look so much more better, much more smoother, and it was something that we needed in Skyrim. And we also have the Reanimated NPC Animations, which is going to add animations for NPCs when they are reanimated. We're going to get the non-spinning death animation because it looks extremely stupid in my opinion. And also grab the random death animation, which is going to play random animations for NPCs dying, which adds up again to Skyrim. Now let's move to the immersion type of mods, and I'm going to walk through those very fast. We have the enhanced blood, which is going to enhance the blood when it comes to fighting, killing enemies and splatting their blood all over the place. Something important when you scroll down the files, grab the light version. The light version is performance friendly and it's not going to break your game, which is what happens with the first version. This is what happens when mods are not getting updated. Now next, we're using footprints, which is one of the most important mods to have in Skyrim. This is going to have characters leave footprints, and because we're not using an ENP, but we're using community shaders instead, this is going to work so much more better with our setup. You want to grab this and use the footprints alternative design, which is going to give this sweet parallax design to them, which is so damn good. I have a bunch of add-ons for this down in the basement link, so feel free to check that out. We do use R.A.S, which is how you see all of those watery effects when I'm recording or showing you my game footage. This is a better version of wet and cold, much more stable. It is going to give us rain, ash, and snow effects on our characters. Let's fix some of the ships by adding animated ships, which is going to give us animated ships to have both in Skyrim that you can actually encounter. You can fight bandits, you can encounter different type of NPCs. It makes sense that some places in Skyrim, like the Solitude Docks, now have some life into them. You can also see those ships from the horizon, which is super badass in my opinion. And then you want to get the animated carriages, which does the exact same thing. It is going to add animated carriages all throughout Skyrim. And you want to grab, in addition to that, the animated carriage additional route, which is going to give more carriages and more routes. This makes Skyrim to feel so much more alive. It is such a sweet mod, and honestly one of my most favorite mods of this year, guys. Next, we have a mod that I'm not sure if you want to use this or not, because our idea is to have a version of Skyrim that feels like it belongs in vanilla. This is Lorcan Soundtrack Replacer. I think one of the best things with Skyrim is its soundtrack, so I am very mixed about this mod. However, this mod does sound really sweet. First of all, it alters all of the UI sounds which we didn't have before, such as leveling, scrolling through different menus, all of this type of crap, and it also gives us dozens, if not hundreds of new tracks. And those tracks, by the way, they are designed for specific location. For example, Castle Vorkithar will have its own unique music theme. The same goes for Dawnguard. What I like about Lorcan is that it grabs those specific locations and it gives them unique soundtracks and music themes. I love the vanilla music, but if you're someone who really wants to kinda make Skyrim feel a little bit more fresh without losing too much, the Lorcan soundtrack or the music from this mod, they feel Skyrim-like. They're actually really damn good and they're made for people who used to synthesize music for the Elder Scrolls before. It's a nice mod and you might not want to use this, but if you do, go ahead and grab this. We have Cloaks next, and you're going to go to his mod page and pretty much grab whatever you want. His mods are absolutely insane. I have the sounds of towns and cities, the unique shader sound fix. Have a listen to Apocrypha for instance, one of his many mods.
Stand in my realm, mortal. It is your fate to return to your mortal life. I will give you what you seek. Dragonborn.
Next we have two mods that are going to enhance your gameplay. I didn't know if I had to put them on the gameplay or immersion, so I decided on immersion. This is cooking with fire. You can drop meat down or a bunch of things that you can cook before, and by using fire you can actually cook them. This is cooking with fire. And you also have the Scorching of Skeevers, which now you can scorch skeevers and they turn into barbecues, which you can resurrect them with conjuration. Those two mods are really nice. I remember doing this in Zelda Breath of the Wild. I love Zelda so much, guys, so having this feature now in Skyrim, it's a really nice thing to have. Jay Sepra is an amazing modder, and I will highly recommend you to go to his mod page that I am going to cover for a bunch of mods. You can grab features such as the enhanced sleeping or the different type of quest expansions. His mod page is insane, so you can go ahead and grab like the Demoralized expansion or the new Immersive Death Cycle. I'm going to put all of the mods I am using from his work down in the video description. If you're not going to find them on the main page of this video, you can check the pastebin file, but essentially quest mods, different type of interactions. He has everything like NPCs reacting to different types of spells and magic. Go ahead and grab anything you want, his mod page is absolutely fantastic. Then we have Flying Crows, and this mod recently got a new update. You can now run Dynalot with this, and it makes it where you can see on the distance those birds flying around. Every time I see them, it makes me a little bit unnerving, and I think it adds up a lot to, again, the world of Skyrim by making it feel much more magical and also a little bit spooky at times. Those birds are not randomly spawn around, or the crows should I say, I mean what's the difference? They are spawning in locations that they have a reason for crows to be there. I am only going to tell you that. We are moving to the Carriage and Ferry Travel Overhaul, which is going to add a lot of new ferries, carriages around Skyrim to make traveling a much more better experience. I think fast traveling in Skyrim kinda ruins the game, so I love to play on survival, and having to use the game like carts or ferries or a bunch of other ways to essentially travel around the world. An absolutely must of a mod. Feel free to check all of the patches if you're using any of those mods, so really cool mod to have nonetheless. And next we are adding Skyrim Wayshrines to have a bunch of Wayshrines on the map you see here that you can use to teleport to different locations. To unlock those, you will have to finish an epic quest and explore new regions, find those shrines, unlock them, and furthermore fast travel in the world of Skyrim. Let's improve some of the basic stuff with better dialogue controls, which is going to give us better controls over the dialogue, and combine that with subtitles, which is going to help us have a bunch of subtitles instead of being limited to only one subtitle per NPC at a time, which is nice to have. We want to get Mandos borders, which is going to place borders around Skyrim, which now makes so much more sense and absolutely must of a mod, so go ahead and install that one. And then we have the Michael's mods, which Michael is a modder that makes a bunch of different type of mods. The reason why I'm covering this is that he's having this series of talkative enemies. For instance, talkative farmers, or maybe you want to grab the cute scuttlers, which is going to play those little cute guys everywhere around Skyrim, or the giant club variety. Or maybe you want to grab his giant overhauls, which is going to place different type of giants around the world. His mods are nice, or you can get the talkative hag ravens. There are so many type of mods you can get from his page. You are free to go out and explore and grab anything you want. I like the talkative series and some series of extra things like the scuttlers, for instance. So again, this is Michael's mods, and that covers the immersion type of mods. I'm going to cover some location type of mods, and this is the Immersive Shortcuts, which is going to add a bunch of new locations which look super sick in my opinion. Some are underground, other locations are not. Those locations are connected with underground tunnels, so you will have more ways to explore or travel through different places. You will no longer have to run from Whiterun all the way around to Ivarstead to get to the Grey Bridge. You can now come from Riverwood. This is such a nice mod, and I don't see many people covering this mod, which adds up to the vanilla game. And we also have the Skyrim Sewers, which is going to add sewers to every city in Skyrim. It's going to connect all of those, and it's going to add some new quests, enemies, and even bosses. And this is such an epic mod. This should be a must mod to have. Now, closing the video, guys, I'm going to show you my UI and how to make it look like mine, and with that being said, let's jump into it. The UI mode I am going to choose is Edge UI. This is a new UI that is based on untarnished UI, and it gives us amazing features. First of all, we're gonna go to the main mode, and we are going to download this file over here that works for Special Edition. And there is a small requirement here. Copy paste that, we are going to install it after. For now, ignore all of that, don't worry, we're going to install this together. For now, install Edge UI. Continue with this. Select your resolution. We are going to install most of those. Don't worry too much. For now, select the compass navigation overhaul, select Cox and detection meter. If you want to use experience, you can. I want to keep Skyrim minimalistic, so I'm going to ignore this one. We are going to install the Quick Loot AI, so grab that. Also more HUD, true directional movement and true HUD. Let's install the Edge UI, race menu, dispatch as well. Install the Oblivion interaction icons and grab the main file over here, and also install the second file over here, so install both of those. I'm gonna use the Edge UI and select those two as well. If you use any of those mods, feel free to select them, but I'm not going to. Select the Edge preset and go for the Edge UI, and that should do it. We are going to remove Quick Loot Array, and we are going to instead install Quick Loot doubly, and there is a reason for that. It's in order to make this UI work. And after this is installed, go ahead here and install the Quick Loot IE. I will recommend you guys to grab the requirements here as well. And next you want to install the Compass Navigation Overhaul, and we are going in addition to need to install the Infinity UI to make this work. We are installing the Inventory Interface Information Injector, and on top of it you're going to install the Inventory Interface Information Injector for Skyrim 1.5. We are using the better third-person selection, which is going to give us a better third-person selection when it comes to looting things, make the game much more natural and much more better. Then you're going to get the More HUD, which is going to give us more information when it comes to our HUD and much more control, very important for what we are building. And also don't forget to install the Sky HUD as well, which we need to make all of this work. That pretty much covers the episode, guys. My apologies for this being way too long of a video. I don't wish the series to have over 10 episodes. I kinda want to smash everything together, so I wanted to take out most of the gameplay and the UI type of mods in a single video. I will try to make those shorter. That being said, next episode we are doing performance and stability. Extremely important when it comes to Skyrim, so don't miss that one out. That was the episode for this week, and if you want to watch more of those, feel free to like the video, subscribe, comment down anything below. Take care, and until next time, happy modding.